Moving on, we have To Love Ru Trouble. Excuse me, Darkness Second. If you know To Love Ru at this point, it's the most popular ecchi comedy in the universe. If you want more To Love Ru, who's more To Love Ru? I'm not gonna watch it, not because I don't like To Love Ru, but because I read the manga and I don't need to watch it. Bam. I actually need to do a video on To Love Ru, and I'm not gonna say what it's about because I don't want to spoil the general idea of it. Because it'll be interesting to see what people think when I put that video out eventually. Don't get excited, it's gonna be a while. I actually have a short video that I need to get out still, followed by a probably long video. The script's not done, but it's probably gonna turn out to be decently long. And then maybe after that I'll do To Love Ru. If I don't review any shows that just ended, which I might not. I don't think there were any shows I watched that I really cared enough to review, but I might change my mind. Anyways. You know what's on board for To Love Ru if you want to watch that, so there you go, there's that. Next we have Akagami no Shiryuki Hime, which is basically translates to something like Snow White with the red hair. Shiryuki is a beautiful girl working as a medicine woman with red hair, a color that is considered very rare. When she is proposed and chased after by the prince of her country, she cuts her hair and runs away, only to meet Zen, the prince of a neighboring country. Finding respect for the young man, she decides to serve it aside as his court doctor. So, the first thing I think of when I read the synopsis along with her red hair is Akatsuki no Yona, which was solid. I still need to finish it. There's so many shows. I didn't watch a lot of shows last season because I wanted to catch up on older shows, and then I proceeded to not catch up on older shows. I'm sorry, things happen. I'm busy. Life is miserable half the time, but I have to deal with it because it's whatever. I'm sorry if that gave people a bad impression. I'm not depressed or anything like that. Things just kind of suck at the moment, and I just have to deal with it. I'm actually pretty optimistic, so I'm fine. I don't want this to get too off topic, though. Anyways, I want to get on board for this because I like the poster, even though it looks the art style the closest resembles to me is sweet Jesus, I cannot remember titles for the life of me. Wandering Sun. Not quite the same, but the same kind of like light storybook kind of look. It's kind of like that, which kind of makes sense considering the title is Snow White with the red hair. So it's not literally going to be Snow White with the red hair, but there's going to be inspiration from that because it's in the fucking title. So yeah, I kind of want to watch it because I like these kinds of stories, and I like that she, like this prince kind of comes after her and it's like, oh, it's probably all princely and stuff like that, and she's like, fuck this, and then runs away and then finds a prince in another country who's probably a lot more normal and gets respect for him and stuff like that. I like that. I like good characters. I'm on board. Staff-wise, the manga has been publishing since 2006. 2006. That's how long the manga's been running. It's been running for almost a decade. That's long as shit. Or maybe she took a lot of breaks. Or he. I think it's a she. Which is really interesting because the other manga that the mangaka has done are either really short, like 8 chapters long, or they're one-shots. Which is really weird. that they do all these short ones and then a really long one. I guess maybe they're like, I found it. I found this title I want to write about, or I found success. I want to keep the money rolling in. I don't really know. I also found out from looking at that is that I really like the mangaka's art, which doesn't really mean much because this is an anime, and it's not like they're literally doing the art for the anime. But the character design should be solid. The series composition for this show is being done scarily by the chick who adapted the BlazBlue anime, which was fucking atrocious. Holy shit. So that's scary, but also adapted Noragami, which also did anime original stuff near the end, but was a lot more successful with it than BlazBlue. BlazBlue wasn't even really that anime original. It just adapted the second game, but then skipped like the entire first game so no one knew what the fuck was happening because, I don't know, it was like trying to only be approachable to people who played BlazBlue, but at the same time was so minimalistic and boring that people who play BlazBlue didn't give a shit about it. Like, it was trying to cater to 2 different audiences at the same time, and it just did not work. Noragami, maybe Noragami was doing the same, but it worked a lot better from someone who hadn't read the manga already or something. Because Noragami was also quite different. Which worries me a bit, because that means that this may also be slightly different given the series composition, the history of the woman doing the series composition. But it could turn out for the better. You never know. Like I said, I like Noragami quite a bit, and it's not like it was completely different. It kept a lot of the good parts of the manga as far as I'm aware of. I don't fucking know. The director did Hanasaku Iraha, which I didn't really care for, but other people liked. Also did Sword of the Stranger, which is pretty fucking popular. And then also Zetsuen no Tempest. So, decent solid track record. Yeah, so I don't really know what I was going on board for that. Basically worrying people because the series composition was the Blaze Blue chick, and then also, but then she also did Noragami, which was solid. So, basically giving you mixed signals. I think the problem is that when I did these notes, I looked for things, and whenever something was bad, I was like, and then I tried to balance it out, or if I found something good, I tried to balance it out with something bad. I think the one exception was Raka no Yusha, which I purposely try to make as positive as possible because I'm hopeful. Moving on, I'm spending too much fucking time on this bullshit. Moving on, TQ 5th season. Whatever, who fucking cares? It's the 5th season of TQ. If you give a shit, here's more. Wasn't like 2 different seasons of TQ airing last season? Like it was the 4th season and then like some spin-off? Sweet Jesus, TQ must like print money. Next we have Million Doll. The story revolves around Suko, an idol-loving Hikikimori shut-in who has one ability to make any idol popular through the power of blogging. That relate right there. She puts her sights on Fukuoka idol Itorio and tries to make her sell more, but she is impeded by the charismatic idol Ryusun and the underground idol Mariko. I don't really have anything to go off of with this synopsis, no impressions really at all, so I'm just gonna go to the notes I have. The director has mainly done weird shit. Like the director's been all over the fucking place. The director has mainly done kid shows, but then a bunch of random shit that you can't even really relate. He did the first season of Hayate. He did Jinsei. He did Mayochiki. The newer Minami K stuff. Did Oni-ai. He did Nyankoi. He did Sket Dance. He even directed the fucking Windows 7 ad with the anthropomorphized Windows 7 OS. Whatever her name was. Like Modica or something. It's been all over the fucking place. So I don't know what to think. Because it's like, I can't get an impression off of all of that. It's like, I have no idea what's going to happen with this show. I guess I'll just listen for impressions or something if anyone even bothers to watch this. Because I don't fucking know. Moving on, we have Gto Watashi wa. The romantic comedy centers around Asahi Kuromine, who has a crush on a cute girl named Yoka Shiragami. Shiragami just happens to be a vampire. Asahi cannot keep a secret, but he is determined to keep Shiragami's secret anyways. What's interesting about this is that, as far as I'm aware of from what I've heard, it's not actually an explicit harem ecchi romance. There's romance, like, as far as, like, the different female characters, and there's comedy, but it's not really, like, an ecchi kind of thing, as far as I'm aware of. From what I've heard and what I know, just based on various bullshit that I just got through osmosis, the main appeal from this manga is the kind of rustic art style works really well with, making some funny scenes. Like the artist is like this kind of rustic art style, but it then goes like full like crazy with certain scenes, which adds to the humor a lot for some stuff, which is probably why this team tried to adapt the art style as closely as they could, to get that same kind of thing back. I don't really have much to say other than that, though. I'll probably just be listening to see what people think, because I mean, I've heard, obviously, when people have read the manga for something, of course they're going to be like, fuck yeah, I'm excited for the anime. But that doesn't really say anything because they're fans of the manga. I'm going to be listening to people who've don't know anything about the manga watching, and I guess people who've read the manga too, because, I mean, people who've read the manga are going to be the harshest critics. So, I guess I listen to that too. But mainly I'm going to be listening to people who haven't read the manga before. Check this out and see what they think about it and stuff like that. Staff-wise, the director did Problem Children Come From Another World, the Valkyria Chronicles anime, Servant X Service, and the second season of Ikamusume, which is slightly worrying because the second season of Ikamusume is famous because they switched directors, and then the second season was like nowhere near as funny as the first season. The director wasn't as good as far as displaying comedy, apparently, assuming that was the issue, and not that the manga was running out of jokes or something. So that's a little concerning, but as far as I'm aware, but people actually kind of like the Valkyria Chronicles anime. I don't fucking know. That's just what I think I've heard. And then Servant X Services people kind of liked, I guess. So there's that. Yeah, that's all staff-wise, I guess. Moving on, we have No Non Boring. No Non Biori, repeat. Sequel to the first No Non Boring, Biori series. So if you watched that, then you probably want to watch the second season, so here you go. Moving on, we have Kaiju Suck Up Kanpai, which I'm not even going to bother to read because I need to save time, and it's a DLE show, so it's going to be another flash short thing, which is really fucking weird, but might be enjoyable. They're generally like 5-minute shorts. They're generally pretty fun, but nothing really noticeable to talk about. Moving on, we have Sorka Say You. The story centers on Futaba Ichinose, Ichigo Mosaki, and Rin Kohana, 3 rookie voice actresses. The original manga features small but humorous observations of the voice actor industry. So if you didn't know, I actually know quite a bit about Sorka Say You, interestingly enough. It's being adapted from a web manga, which is done by a voice actress called Musume Asano, the most popular roles she's done that you may recognize her from are Risa Asakaze from Hayate, the student council president, I think. Hakufu Sansaku, or I guess no, that's actually that was Hinaki-ku, the one of the Three Stooges chicks, whatever. Anyways, Hakufu Sansaku from Ikitosen, Chiaki from Shigefumi, or Yukari Hirai from Shanna. Those are probably the most notable roles she's done, just to try and get people to know who she is. Basically, she writes a 4-koma web manga, which is actually illustrated by the guy who writes and draws Hayate. Basically, it's random 4-koma jokes for the most part, but they're her kind of like her thoughts as a voice actress, like certain quirks that come with the industry, parts of the lifestyle of being a voice actress, like, you know, when you get called in to do voice work and stuff like that. They're pretty humorous little 4-koma jokes, but actually pretty interesting about what goes on with voice actors. So if that's something that interests you, you should actually really, really check it out. I actually know a decent amount about this because I, for quite a while, actually read them weekly as they were translated on, there's like a Tumblr. I don't think it's dedicated to translating it, but they have each week they pretty much translate it and they put it up in a tag. I'll actually put the link to that Tumblr with the tag already set if you want to read it. Just note that when you go to it, the newest one's going to be first. So if you want to look at older ones, you're going to have to keep going back. It's actually pretty interesting, and I want to see it because I don't know how they're going to adapt it, though. It'll be interesting. But it's a nice little insight into the voice acting industry and some of the voice actors and stuff. And sometimes she has like guest characters that come on that are based on other popular voice actresses and things they do and stuff like that. It's really interesting. So if you're interested in voice acting like at all, this is actually going to be kind of educational for you, and it's charming and cute too. So quite a few of the jokes are actually pretty solid. So it's not like laugh out loud hilarious, but kind of like amusing chuckle kind of humor. But yeah, if you're interested in voice acting and like stuff that goes on in that regard, especially in Japan and stuff like that, then absolutely you should watch this. It's gonna be nice. I'm actually really excited to see this. I'm surprised as hell it's getting an anime adaptation. That's weird, but cool. Moving on, we have Overlord. Oh my god, how much do I have left? Sweet Jesus, gotta go fast. Gotta go fast, Sonic mode. Synopsis is, the story takes place in the year 2138 when virtual reality gaming is booming. Yggdrasil, a popular online game, is quietly shut down one day. However, the protagonist Momonga decides to not log out. Momonga is then transformed into the image of a skeleton as the most powerful wizard. The world continues to change, with non-player characters NPCs beginning to feel emotion. Having no parents, friends, or place in society, the ordinary young man Momonga then strives to take over the new world the game has become. So it's actually really easy to pass this off, obviously, because they're like, oh god, it's another fucking stupid SEO bullshit, whatever, and blah 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 blah. But it's interesting because it's actually a dude who's like, makes this like, you know, evil character, and then he gets stuck in it, and he's just kind of like, what's going on? And, you know, he's kind of like stuck in the role of the villain. And it mentioned, you know, he's got no parents, no friends, he's got no place in society. You know, he kind of goes a little, not crazy, but, you know, he kind of like eats at him and so then he decides to become the ruler. You could really view it as like a psychological thing. Like, he has no place to belong, so he wants to take over the world so that he then has a place to belong by taking it over, by becoming his. I feel like it'll be a bit more smart than SAO, probably, in that regard, as far as characters. Like, I doubt he's gonna be, well, maybe he'll be blatantly overpowered, because he's been working on this character for a while, and it's this evil villain. But I feel like it'll be a lot more interesting character-wise, just off the main character. Obviously, I have no proof of that. It's just a pure speculation based on what I'm seeing. But that's my guess. I'd say actually give it a shot. I mean, you don't want to pass it off because you're like, oh, I'm tired of stuff like SAO and Danmachi and things like that. But you gotta remember, Log Horizon happened too, and that was good. Overlord could be the same. Maybe not as far as like the exact style of Log Horizon, obviously, but it's don't pass off a genre. Well, it's not even really a genre. It's don't pass off a setting, purely based on other shows. Give it a chance. Let it do what it can do. If I'm right, then it's gonna be pretty interesting. Well, at least to me. If I'm wrong, then nothing really lost. You can just drop it. Whatever. Who cares? I think it's gonna be like 12 episodes anyway, so it's not that huge of a commitment. Assuming you even get through all the episodes. But like I said, I actually kind of have hopes for this. I think it'll actually be pretty solid. Although, staff-wise, I guess I don't have anything to say because there's nothing written in my notes for Overlord. So I guess I didn't find anything to really say about it. But that doesn't mean bad or good thing. It just means there was nothing to say. So, yeah, moving on. We have Monster Musume no Iru Nichijou. 3 years ago, the world learned that... Fuck you, Twitter. The world learned that harpies, centaurs, catgirls, and all manner of fabulous creatures are not merely fiction. They are flesh and blood, not to mention scale, feather, horn, and fang. Thanks to the cultural exchange between species act, these once mythical creatures have assimilated into society, or at least they're trying. When a hapless human teenager named Kurusu Kumihiro is inducted as a volunteer into the government exchange program, his world is turned upside down. This is basically a best girl contest, again. So if you're addicted to best girl contests, like Nisekoi... I can't think of any others at the moment. That's just the most recent. If Nisekoi was your jam, you should also watch this, because this is yet another best girl contest. Just reasons for you guys to watch the show and be like, oh my god, the best girl is here, and then argue with people online about who best girl is. Stuff like that. It's pretty much what this is. Interestingly enough, the director of this did Yoru no Yatterman, which was, I think, 2 seasons ago. A lot of people seem to quite enjoy that, so solid director. I don't know if I'm going to give this a go. I mean, I've heard positive things from people who read the manga. They're like, it's actually good. It's pretty good. But it's so obvious. It's going to be a best girl contest. I don't want to get dragged into that again. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind, but for now I want to avoid that. Moving on, we have Bikini Warriors. I don't even know if I need to read the synopsis for this. The setting is an RPG-style world with swords and magic where adventurers from a party to challenge the Demon King's right to rule. Was that English? Form a party, not from a party. Form a party to challenge the Demon King's right to rule. But the adventurers all have beautiful breasts, enormous breasts, and bikini armor. What? Okay. What's interesting, this is based off figures. Like, did people just make these figurines and they're like, let's put an anime thing or whatever. I don't know. Fuck it. The only interesting thing that I noticed, well, I guess there's 2 interesting things. Staff-wise, there are 6 different people on character design. And I don't know if that's because they brought in different people for the anime, or if these are different people that made the figures, and then they like, for example, they have one guy on anime that's at character design, adapting these figures into the anime, and then the figures were done by, like, the 5 other people. Or if there's literally is just 6 people on board doing character designs. What's interesting to notice is in those credits include people who draw porn, pornographic doujinshi. Most popular probably being Hisasi and Saitam. So it's pretty obvious what the show's catering to. If you know what you want in a show, you're hooked up. I'm just saying, if that's what you want, there you go. moving on, we have horrible deformities, apparently. Suzaki Nishi, the animation. Voice actresses Aya Suzaki and Asuka Nishi announced at an event in Tokyo that their Suzaki Nishi radio program will get a television anime adaptation starting in July. Both voice actresses will star as themselves in the anime, and they will perform the theme song as the Suzaki Nishi unit. So, this is probably like the other couple, radio units that voice actors tend to have with like two of them, and then they just kind of talk to each other about random shit, which can be pretty fun, entertaining and stuff like that. But, oh my god, those fucking character designs. It's like they couldn't tell what age they wanted. They couldn't decide what age they wanted to be, so they just mashed all the age groups together, and it's just like, I can't tell. What the fuck? I don't know if I have anything noticeable to say about this. I can mention who the voice actresses are, in case you didn't know. Aya Suzaki, most noticeably, is Mako in Kill la Kill, Samugi in the second season of Knights of Sidonia. She also does Beni Suzume and the chick Beni Suzume is based off of in Knights of Sidonia Season 1. And then the other is Asuka Nishi. The most notable role I could find for her is Shinobu in Kiniro Mosaic. So, that's a thing. I mean, I'm sure it's a fun radio show and stuff like that, but oh my god, those fucking character designs, I don't even know. I don't know. I'll listen to what people think about the show and whether it's basically, like, I don't even know. Like, are they just gonna have those characters doing a radio show in the anime? Like, I don't understand. So I'm gonna wait and see what people think about this. But for now, I'm just like, I'm good. I don't need to see this. Whatever, dude. Moving on, we have Kusun Madoshi Kohosei no Kyokan. Humanity has been driven off the land by magical armored insects and now lives in aerial floating cities. Thus, wizards, aerial combat mages who fight the insects with magical powers came into being. Kanata Age? It's probably Age. Kanata Age is a young man who lives on the floating wizard academy city of Misutogen. He was once celebrated as the Black Master Swordsman, the elite ace of the S128 special team. However, he is now despised as the traitor of the special team. One day, he is assigned as the instructor of E601, a team that has suffered 10 consecutive defeats. E601 has 3 girls, Misora Whiteale, Lekti Eisenach, and Eriko Flammel, with 1 or 2 peculiar quirks. I don't even know what to fucking think about this. It seems kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know how it could turn out based on that synopsis at all. Like, there's a lot of detail on, like, the unit numbers and stuff like that, so there's some thought put into this. But they could also just be, like, rolling a dice, and they're like, alright, let's use that number. I don't know. I'll give it a go, but for one reason, and that's because of my staff notes. The person doing the music for this show, Daisaku Kume, it's their first time. This is their first show that they're doing music for. So that's always interesting, because it'll be interesting to see a new musician come into play. Like, maybe they're really fucking good. You never know. So that'll be really nice to listen to. Like, I'm interested in what the music's going to be like, because I want to see if there's a new musician that I need to keep track of staff-wise. Because that would be nice. I like that. I would like that. English, how do I speak it? I'm getting tired, I guess, after recording for like an hour and a half. Admittedly, there's a decent amount to cut out, but it's still pretty long. I suck. Anyways, moving on, we have Junjou Romantica 3, sequel to the Junjou Romantica 2 TV series. If you like Junjou Romantica, is Junjou Romantica 2 or 3, I mean, I actually have a funny story involving me in Junjou Romantica, but because I'm running late, I can't say it now, so you can thank my slow ass for that. I guess you can ask me in the comments about it if you give a shit. Next we have Umaru-chan. The sibling gag story centers around Umaru, Tahei's little sister, who boasts beautiful looks as well as prowess in both school and sports. However, Himoto, beautiful little sister, has a certain secret. As far as I'm aware of, the way it works is that she is, obviously, she has beautiful looks and she has prowess in both school and sports, and she looks like a normal anime character. A normal, pretty anime character for that part. And then apparently when she comes home, she turns into a total fucking slob. Like, those are essentially potato chips she's holding onto, and she's wearing, like, her fucking thing like a cape. And she I don't even know if the animation will literally turn her into that character, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's almost like a superhero transformation kind of thing. It's that's a thing, I guess. That's basically what the synopsis is trying to say, but didn't really do a great job of it. Interestingly enough on this, there are 3 different people on script. I don't know how that's possible, considering I wouldn't be surprised if this was just like a short. I don't think it's a short. I didn't write that it was one, but I may have forgotten to. This is actually a recurring pattern from now on. I'm just gonna mention about a lot of people being on like the same staff. But yeah, there's 3 different people on script for this, which is weird that there's 3 different people on script for a show that seems kind of simplistic. But I don't know. I kind of want to watch it if it gets simulcasted though, because I want to see if they actually have the different like animation style for when she's at home and when she's not at home, because that'd actually be kind of cool. Also, the staff, the director for the show, did the first season of Minamike. I think both seasons of Yuri Yuri, Love Lab, and Kotoro-san. So they direct those types of shows, so it kind of fits here. And as far as I'm aware, people like the first season of Minamike quite a bit. I don't know if it's like the most popular one or not, but that's a thing. I guess if you're interested in those shows, then there you go. Next we have Gakko Garashi. The story revolves around 4 girls who decide to stay over at school. The energetic Yuka Takeya, the shovel-loving roomie, the center of the group Ruri, who brings everyone together, and the spacey school advisor Megu. However, through mysterious circumstances, the girls find themselves the final survivors in a zombie attack and continue to live at the school. So this is apparently like dark and shit, I guess. Hence why its categories are listed as like, for example, mystery, horror, seinen, supernatural, I guess, stuff like that. This is also one of those shows where people are on Twitter talking about how they like the manga and they can't wait for people who watch the anime adaptation to inevitably compare it to Madoka because dark. So apparently there's quite a bit going on with this show. I'm kind of interested. I guess I'll watch it and see what happens. Because I want to know what's going on about it. Just because it's dark doesn't mean it's good though. So I want to watch it though and see what's going on. See for my own 2 eyes and ears if it's good or not. Yeah. What's interesting is, again, going with the pattern, there are 5 people on script for this one, including the original creator. The original creator is like directly on board for the script for this one, along with 4 other people, which is like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess that's okay. I mean, there's exceptions, like, you know, you could have too many people, but having more writers isn't necessarily is actually kind of a good thing, because then you can bounce ideas off of others and be like, oh, let's do this, and the other one will be like, no, that's fucking stupid, it clashes with this, and you're like, oh, you're right, and then you can do that kind of thing. But you never know. I mean, I don't fucking know. And then the director did Muv-Luv Alternative Total Eclipse, which I don't know if people liked. It was kind of stupid. I dropped it. And then also directed White Album 2, which, again, something I heard people liked quite a bit, so that's cool. I think that's all I have to say about this. Yeah, I'll give it a go, see what it's like. I don't care if it's dark or light. I don't give a shit. I just want to know, since quite a few people seem to like it. Moving on, we have Kangaku Kakuen Prison School, which basically is just prison school. Hachimitsu Private Academy was a revered and elite all-girls boarding school on the outskirts of Tokyo once upon a time. But with the new school year comes a revision to school policy. Boys are to be admitted into the student body for the first time ever. But on his first day at Hachimitsu, Kyoshi Fujini discovers that he's one of only 5 boys enrolled at the school. Their numbers are overwhelmed by the 1,000 girls in the student body. Is it heaven or hell that awaits these 5 or maybe not fortunates? So, basically, this is also a really popular manga. It's got kind of like an absurd, insanist kind of comedy style where like things are over the top. Like, the art style is really weird, but works really well in the comedy. As far as getting the jokes across and such. Like, I don't know how to describe it because I haven't actually read it. I've just seen like a couple shots from a few pages. People who've read Prison School like it a lot. Like, even, like, really snobby people that are kind of, like, you know, like, jaded about shit, that have read Prison School are like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing, I love it. Which is why people are worried about an anime adaptation, because it could ruin because the art style has a lot to do with the humor. So people are a bit worried about that, but it's important to note, staff-wise, that the director, Tsutomu Mizushima, is the same guy who rose to fame with Girls und Panzer and Shirobako. He did shows before that, but they weren't like the level of popularity that Girls und Panzer and Shirobako got him. So a really fucking solid director's on board. Not to mention, he is also the guy who directed the first season of Ikamusume, which was the infinitely funnier one. So he knows how to do comedy. He does. Maybe he'll take a slightly different approach with the comedy if they can't quite get the art style there, because he, like I said, he does know how to do comedy. The first season of Ikamusume was actually pretty funny. Like, he knows what he's doing when it comes to that. And then also to note is, it obviously isn't going to be the same style at all, but Kotaro Nakagawa is on music, who is the guy that did the music for Code Geass and Gossip, which had fucking great soundtracks. But again, don't expect that same style for Prison School. It's not the same type of show, but you never know. But the music should be solid even if it's a different style, because Kotaro Nakagawa is pretty fucking good. So I'm gonna watch this. I'm cautiously optimistic, because I don't really care that it has, you know, a pretty solid, you know, following manga-wise, but I like the staff, especially the director. So I'm on board for that, and I'll be interested to see what Kotaro Nakagawa comes up with music-wise. That'll be cool. Moving on, we have Makura no Danshi. Makura no Danshi, the new television anime from Earth Star Entertainment, promises a new and novel sleeping side-by-side experience, entirely in the first-person perspective to heal tired hearts. Natsuki Hanai Natsuki will play one of 12 Makura no Danshi pillow boys, all full of distinctly individual personalities and each catering to viewers who like a certain type. The boys all live in the same town underneath the starry sky. Each of the Makura no Danshi will star his own weekly episode as they sleep beside you and whisper. This is kind of like that, what was that one called? Sleeping with Hanako or something, where it's just like 15 minutes of her just sleeping, and then it's like supposed to help you sleep or something. This is like similar, but it's for chicks, I guess. What's very interesting about this is that there is no director listed on board. Probably makes me think that they mentioned the first person perspective. I feel like you're just going to be like, you know, on the pillow looking at the other person on the other pillow, and they're going to be saying things, and the camera's not going to do a thing. Hence why there's no director, because no one's directing. I mean, you don't need a director to, you know, do a couple things with the camera, but if the camera's not doing anything, then no one's really directing. So that's probably why there's no director listed. However, interestingly enough, there are 2 people on board for the script. Why the fuck do you need 2 people on script to do this? It's just a guy sitting in a pillow next to you saying things. I mean, I guess you need, you know, all kinds of different personalities for each different single, you know, character, but 2 people on script, really? And then also, obviously, these are 4-minute shorts. So, if you're a chick and you like cute boys, and you like cute boys saying things to you when you're trying to sleep, keeping you awake. I'm just kidding. Then here you go. Moving on, we have Idolmaster and Rollergirl second season. If you like Idolmasters, the second season, whatever. Moving on, we have Chufeng BEE. In XXAD, a new generation of arms races emerging. Vanguards are the new type of weapons being used on the battlefield. Liu Li is a vanguard that is about to retire. In her last 380 days, she receives her final mission. The anime is a Japanese dub starring Kana Hanazawa from a popular Chinese webcomic. What's important to note is that I tried to get staff information for this show, and I couldn't. There is no staff information for the show. Maybe because it's airing at the end of the season, they still haven't listed the staff or something, but there's no information, and I just don't give a shit. And I looked at I made up for that. I watched the promo video for this show. The animation looks minimalistic as fuck. Like, not like Flash animation status, but like, it's wonky. It is some serious wonky shit. And maybe it was just really early animation, or maybe it's not, like, maybe it was just shown in a weird way and that's not quite accurate or something, but the animation looked wonky as shit. That's all I'm saying, yeah, it was the thing. Like I said, maybe it'll get cleaned up. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. But I'm not interested. Maybe later on, if they actually list the staff that are on board for this, then I will be, but otherwise, whatever. And then finally, we have Fate Kailed Linear Prisma Ilia Twazoihers. I can't do German. Sequel to the Fate Kailed, whatever, it's a sequel to the last season that aired. This is still the best version of Fate. And it feels unfortunate to say that. Because, I don't even need to say why. Seriously, like, this seriously is the best version of Fate. It really is. Like, the others are just so fucking unbearable. At least this one has comedy that's funny. Admittedly, it's missing. Like, the last season that aired, the first episode had some pretty solid jokes, and then it got all serious, and it was like, I guess this is alright, I guess. but I liked the comedy. Like, the first episode of the first season of this was actually pretty amusing. And then the first season of the second episode was actually, the second season's first episode was actually pretty amusing too. I think that's a recurring trend. Like, the first episode of each season is pretty funny, and then sometimes there's some humor in the other episodes, but largely it gets to a more serious tone. But yeah, this is still the best Fate version we have gotten in anime form. All the others have been what the fuck ever. So if you're looking for a good, I'm pissing everyone off. If you're looking for a good version of Fate, here you go. Here's the new season. I'm gonna piss so many people off. I wonder if I'll get linked on Reddit again. The last time when the fucking ufotable Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Work started airing, I talked shit about Fate Stay Night, and it got posted to Reddit, and then people got really fucking pissed off at me on Reddit. All they did was dislike my video. That's why if you look back at my season previews, one has mysteriously a bunch more dislikes than the others. That's the one that got linked, because it was Fate Stay Night being linked to Reddit, and then they were like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's like, it's hilarious, but at the same time, I expected it. Fate Stay Night fans are so fucking defensive. Like, it's like I'm spreading propaganda or something. Like, I just don't care for Fate, other than Kyla Illinois Prisma, which is actually pretty solid. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not warping people's brains. I actively tell people not to just take what I say at face value as their opinion just because I say it. Like, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you my opinion. I don't know why that's such a fucking horrible thing against humanity, but then again, this is the internet. Reddit. Anyways, I'm just gonna piss them off even more. Anyways, that's it. There's like, obviously there's like specials and shit airing too, and then there's movies and shit airing too, and there's some carryovers from last season and such, but there's not really much to mention. As far as that goes, it's whatever. I just want to be done because this took way too long, and this way I can keep the movie shorter and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing I really want to mention anyways. Like, maybe I'd mention a couple, but it's whatever. So yeah, that's the summer 2015 season. I hope that was helpful, more helpful than usual, because I actually had some staff information. Maybe I'll do a bit more information next season if it doesn't take me this long. If it's gonna come out really late, then I'll just do this again. If I have time to do more in-depth stuff, then maybe I'll actually look at the manga that are being adapted and get some impressions on those and stuff like that. I don't fucking know. But this is still coming out late. It's probably still not gonna come out until like the 6th of July. Like, I have to edit it all fucking night, I'm sure. Assuming I even edit it tonight, I might do some other shit because I'll be tired after this recording. But yeah, I should stop here before this gets even longer. Hopefully that helped people. Hopefully Reddit doesn't get too mad at me for more Fate Stay Night bashing. Yeah, I'm excited for the season, especially that one show that I said that I can't remember because I'm bad with names, Raka no Yusha. Excited for that. I'll probably watch the first episode of that immediately after finishing this recording because I've been waiting to watch it. That's what motivated me to get this done. That, and it's not that I didn't want to record, I just didn't have time. Like, this is seriously the only time I had to record. And then, like, it was like, well, I could watch the shows that came out, or I could record while I have the chance. And it's like, you know what? Do the fucking recording first. So I did. Anyways, yeah, I hope that was helpful for people. I'm sorry I rambled about stupid shit and take too long on way too many shows. Yeah. So, I'll see you guys in the next video, which hopefully won't take too much longer, but you never know. Things happen. So, I'll see you guys when the next video is. Bye.